Streamlabs, talk about a pain in the ass. I've never had that happen with Katawa Shoujo. At least this time, at least with something on PC I can notice right away when it happens because OBS is open. But yeah, it's still annoying, and I could have fixed it even quicker. It took a bit longer than usual. I did notice it right away. It's just that I didn't fix it right away because I had to check something anyway. But yeah, I just saw it drop to 0, and I thought it just dropped to 0 because it had done that a few times, and so I was waiting, and then it stayed at 0, and I was like, no, 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 and then yeah, it disconnected. I don't know if you heard those final no moments. I doubt it. Everything was probably at 0. Big sad. But I made a save, and then I don't know. I didn't need to make a save, really, but I just did just in case, and went and fixed it. It's very, 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 very annoying, but whatever. Even big streamers constantly complain about how bad their internet is, so maybe I don't realize that big streamers have disconnects like this too. I don't know. Maybe they don't, maybe they do, I don't know. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something extreme. But those fears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank stare to a more normal, withdrawn shyness. She wordlessly lowers her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything to help. I can't though. I don't really know what just happened or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. What time is it? It's now 3? Okay. She doesn't know size before looking at me, even without words. I think I can tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I try to communicate my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Shizuna makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impression. Wait, what was that face? Look at that face. Yeah, that's like a, what the fuck he's saying? She stabs her fingers in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing at the door of the classroom. I get the feeling she is much better at this than I am. I nod at her, since her plan is after all the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. See, that's the thing. I feel like when people don't know a language, or they I feel like people try to if they try to communicate in a way that isn't actually the language someone else knows. This applies to language, like actual speaking languages as well, not just sign language. People try to overcomplicate it. They try to throw in their own words, like words that the person's obviously not gonna get, or well, rather words the other person doesn't even need to know because they're so used to talking in that language that they're like, what if I just say the same thing I'd normally say with the whole extra bits? And it's like, no, just make it simple, fucking, oh, you idiot. Keep it simple, stupid. That saying. It's really not that hard. Like, she was just like, you, her, there, me, there. Like, he was probably trying to go like, oh, I'll take her and go to the hospital and add in all this extra bullshit. Well, not hospital, but first aid or some shit. And it's like, no, just be simple. It's like when I see people try to communicate with people from other countries and they're saying all these words that they don't need to know, and I'm like, just say it simpler. They're not why do you need to add in all this bullshit they don't need to know? I nodded her. Alright, I read that. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up in place by herself, and when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being catatonic before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. She looks extremely tired. After everything that's happened, it's not a surprise. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, the nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind us, we both take a seat, and I quietly and thoughtfully go through everything that happened in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has as good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods throughout my explanation, his face looking troubled as I finish. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either? Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I assume you've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point. This is a bit of a minefield at that respect. I'm gonna put this pretty bluntly. This is a matter for Ikazawa, me, and her therapist. I moved to protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good. I wish I could help you more, but I think that I think what Ikazawa needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs somebody to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well in bringing her here. Sounds like you and your friends dealt with the situation well too. I'd give you a lollipop or a sticker as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. No man, give me a fucking lollipop. Bitch. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten the atmosphere. Not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. Yeah, what the hell? That's a weird thing to ask, given the situation. She'll be let back to her dormitory room this evening, so you could visit her then. I agree with him before standing. It feels like all I can ever do around the nurse is humbly agree to what he says. But it was the same with the doctors in the hospital too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one, my mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be aware of what happened. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk. Okay, I take it Ikazawa is in the infirmary now? Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed, but overall he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Okay, what do you think the purpose of this school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students? Muto scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Nakai. This school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about my immediate situation. No? That's right. We want you all to leave here as useful members of society. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You are possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. It isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. I can't say that I've put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lily's questioning me about the same subject. It's only a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future. And besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Muto gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right. As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Igazawa's case is much like that, but instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The facility was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave class, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in his argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly psychological, its worst effects have been on her psyche. It still puts me off though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for her problem? Surely she can't go on like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to this school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako? I believe, well, I hope, that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. He takes care to emphasize the last word, as if it wasn't quite clear enough already, and gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much anyway after all that's happened. So I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now. Go collect your things and I'll see you tomorrow. Right, thank you. Muto's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako. If anything, and my mind, what I can do to help Hanako, if anything. And my mind is all over the more confused about what Muto said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself, and I don't know whether that is just male bravado or a genuine concern. That's a really fucked up and weird thing to bring up. That's bravado all the way. I don't even care what the author's intention was. If the author's intention wasn't bravado, well, then he just accidentally put his own fucking bravado in there. Because that's all that is. That's a very weird thing to be concerned about. Something I wouldn't even consider. Not even if this situation happened 5 fucking times, I would never even consider that an issue. Shizune was just being a decent human being and helping someone. Why the fuck does it matter if it was more or less than you? Dick. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her and that I'm there for her, but while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tells me that she was in a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions. Not even her tastes in music... Blech. Not even her tastes in music, food, and movies. All the little things that I know about all of my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all the time that I've been with her and Lily? In the distance, I hear the bells signaling the end of class. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dormitories. When my mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Hello? Hisao Nakai speaking. Oh, Hisao, I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. I probably should have guessed it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to, even through her phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me. Understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'd appreciate to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time. But that could be a good or bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. I rap my knuckles on her door, and she seems to... what? Oh, and she soon calls me in. Lily sits on the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table. Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Asao? What happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Shizuna and Misha's questioning, our foray into town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I add Shizuna's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explore it. I see, she had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. My birthday has caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around, and the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now? Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now. She wasn't in the library or the team room when I checked, so I can only assume that too. You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Hang on, I need to fix this. This fucking chair. It's so shit. It doesn't correctly lock into place. So the back slowly slides down because it's a shitty chair, not a gamer chair. Should I? Okay. Lily shifts her position, the body's way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her and to spend some time with my family. What? Is she alright? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I could get. Stable? That's code for need to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief. Yes, but that means I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so that we could think of something before we told Hanako, but after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's gonna be an issue if we simply cancel the party. I don't think that is such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we were planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right? You made it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, though possibly two. That's one relief at least. With that in mind, what do you suggest then? Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She'd locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside of her, making sure that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave then. That does seem like it would be the easiest option. I think we should at least tell Hanako, both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now? I think that would be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking, and these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. I know that word, I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. I might not even be, I just feel like I am. Words, yeah. Startlingly? That's not right, is it? That's not like the right way to pronounce that word. But I know the word, I know what it means. Like he's startled by the barren monotoneness of it. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian items on the shelves. Even her bed sheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Another CG. Getting a few in a row now. Well, not in a row, but just in quicker succession. There was like barely any in Act 2. Was there even one in Act 2? I don't remember there being one in Act 2. Hanako herself is lying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself, and the tracks left by her tears still sit on her reddened cheek. I quietly walk in and set her bag down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much. Hello, Hanako. Sao told me about what happened today. Are you alright? Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. I'm okay. She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimace before I can hide it. Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now. She really doesn't look nor sound okay, though at least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her. I said it before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this. Sal's right. I shouldn't have hidden something like a birthday celebration from you. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level. I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako. Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako shuffling, Lily moves forward and feels out the side of the bed, eventually taking a seat beside her and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in the time that we've known each other, but it's still occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. Man, I know that feel. It can be so awkward. There was one time I was with a group of two guys, two friends, and one of them was like I had only known one of them for a very short amount of time. And I had actually known the other for a longer time, but the two of them were still like way closer than me. And so they would just be like talking about something and I'd just be kind of like, I'm out of place here. Like a situation where, like, obviously if they're dating it's different. But this is like more closer to my situation where it's like, it's not two people that are dating, it's just that it's two people who are just closer friends than you are with either of them. And so you're just kind of there like, Lily, if you want me to go, I don't want that. Lily and I are both surprised that Hanako is mustering her courage. A half-mumbled okay is all I can give her in reply, and I take her desk chair to sit in. Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news. So Liz is going to break the news now. With Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly, perhaps Lily thought the timing was good, or at least as good as it will ever be. My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time. Concern replaces Hanako's remorseful expression. Your family? You mean in Scotland, right? Look at that, no stuttering, just breaks in the words. That's right, Akira and I will be leaving Saturday. So you're going away? I won't be gone for long, probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Hisao will be here, right? That's right, I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to take only minor comfort in this, but she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside her. Is your aunt gonna be alright? I'm not sure. Silence falls. It's depressing that the thing to truly bring Hanako out of her rut is another's misfortune. I decided to bring up the other matter that brought us here, to distract at least in part from the dismal feeling permeating the room. Anyway, we were thinking that it would be a good idea to have a going away party for Lily, and it could double as... yeah. I cut myself off before mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. I wonder if the fire was on her birthday or something. Otherwise, I don't know. Something happened on one of her birthdays. It's clearly a trigger, but that would be my guess. Lily gives Hanako's hand, or someone's birthday. The fire is probably related to a birthday somehow. Lily gives Hanako's hand a gentle squeeze. Is it alright by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone, just something small in my room. So just in the school? Just us? That's right, just the three of us, if you like. I could ask Akira to come as well. Okay. You're only going for a week? 1 week or two, yes. I promise you it won't be any longer. Okay. But then COVID strikes and Lily's stuck in Scotland because the borders. She can't leave Scotland. Most people would be upset at hearing about a friend's family member falling ill and happy at having a party, but with Hanako it seems that both events are on the same level. Alright then, you look like you need a rest, Hanako, so it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now. You know that if you ever want anything, you can always talk to me or Sal, right? Lily's voice is pensive, as unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she. Understand. Thank you, Lily, Sal. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night. I let out a long breath after the door closes behind us. It feels a little like I've been deep underwater and only now I've been able to come up for air. Lily doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you alright, Hisao? Are you alright? I don't know why I said are you alright, Hisao. I don't know. I read his name. I don't know why the fuck I did that. I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic recently. Have you slept at all? Little tired. A little tired sounds like an understatement given how you look. I think I managed to get a couple hours of sleep before class. I'll be okay. I feel bad about pressing Lily right now. I think both of us are pretty tired from everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest. It's been a big day, and staying up isn't good for your complexion. Thank you for your concern, so good night then. Okay, night, Lily. I leave Lily in the hallway as she opens the door to her room and begin to make my way to my own. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get that image of Hanako out of my mind, huddled and pitiable, lying helplessly with tears on her cheeks. I begin to think that she was just a normal, if extremely shy person, but her problems run much deeper. Trying to take our relationship further than what we share now, when she's so fragile and vulnerable, wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than her friend in order to protect her or try and stop anything like this ever happening again. The possibility of my feelings for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Hanako is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. But even so, there's still that sting I feel when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better day. God damn. What is going on? Oh, damn. Okay. Well, fucking hell, dude. Shit. Oh well, let's just... Hanako is more noticeable in her absence than when she is in her room. I feel her empty desk calling out for me. I find myself peering over my shoulder endlessly, hoping that I'm hallucinating and that Hanako will magically appear. She makes sure she's a smaller presence as possible when she attends class, and although she has been getting better recently, that fact never changed. Nobody ever pays her any heed in class, and now that she's not there, they don't notice her absence. It's as if she never existed. Lily did say that her skipping class wasn't an unusual thing before I met her, but it's still very off-putting. The bells hurtling the end of school make me jump in my seat. It's only now that I notice Misha is prodding me in the side with her mechanical pencil to get my attention. Hello? Is anybody there? Hey, stop that. There we are. Welcome back to Earth, Hick-chan. What are you talking about? Kept on dazing off into space. I was beginning to think that you might be trying to contact alien life. I was, Misha, and I succeeded. Thank you very much. No. I really didn't get much sleep last night, so I don't doubt Misha's words. I'm not sure whether it was due to my medicine's side effects, Hanako's panic attack yesterday, me worrying about her in general, or all three. I yawned tiredly before resting my chin in my palm, having been reminded of how badly I slept. Hey, are you really alright? Yesterday kinda rattled me as well. Yeah, I guess. I wanted to speak to Hanako again, though. Did you see her last night? Yeah, Lily and I talked to her. This may sound a bit weird. Can you tell she doesn't have thank you from both me and Lily? I know Lily technically didn't thank Shizuna, but I could tell by her reaction last night that she wanted to. At least that's how it works out in my head. I think what Chick-chan is trying to say is, you're welcome. The furious signing in Shizuna's reddened cheeks tell me that what she that what she said was entirely different. Her blatantly flustered expression is amusing enough to make me chuckle. What's so funny, Hick-chan? Was it something we said? No, it's that's not it. I was simply thinking about how cute Shizune can be at times. Wahaha! You're right. Shik-chan is really cute when she tries not to be. I noticed that Misha decided not to sign her response to Shizune. Maybe Shizune's rate is enough of a counter to any quantity of cute. Nevertheless, Shizune quickly calms down and signs something else to Misha. Oh, okay. Hick-chan. Shik-chan wants you to come and have dinner with us. Dinner? Eh? Turning away from them a bit, lest I be swayed by their pleading smiles, I begin to mull it over. The invitation certainly is tempting. A takeaway dinner with two cute girls is not a bad thing, after all. The thought of Hanako locked up in her room, though, keeps dancing on the edge of my mind. Sorry, I'll have to pass. Nah. Misha doesn't sign my response, but Shizune picks up on it easily enough and grimaces in disappointment. She moves her arm, assumedly beginning some form of either protest or coercion, but stops herself and taps Misha's shoulders twice. Once Misha gives Shizune her attention, the only statement Shizune has on the matter is a shrug. Oh well, it's your choice, Hick-chan. I promise I'll join you to another time, if that helps. Misha perks up at this, but Shizune doesn't share her reaction. With a flick of the head to signal for Misha to follow her away, Shizune simply raises her head to slightly wave me goodbye. As the two make their way out the door, I return the gesture until they're out of sight. I didn't think they would be so disappointed, and it makes me feel a little bad for ditching them. Still, I have things to do. The girls' dormitory is especially rowdy today, with a number of girls loudly playing games and watching television in the common room on the first floor. I can hear their voices even now standing in front of Hanako's door. It's an odd contrast to the emptiness of the floor she's on. The voices from below make the emptiness feel all the more lonely. I had hoped Hanako would be in class today, especially after the talk Lily and I had with her last night, but I felt like I shouldn't hold it against her. It was a pretty awful episode, and to have experienced it firsthand must be all the worse. Not knowing what state she's in, I take a small breath before giving a few sharp knocks on her brown door. All I can do is stand and wait, doing my best not to feel anxious. As the seconds wear on, I begin to think she might be asleep and didn't hear me knocking. The door handle rattles a little before I can raise my hand to knock again, though. The door opens a sliver, an eye appearing in the gap, one just large enough for it to peer through. I'm sure this girl would install a peephole in her dormitory door if only such a thing was allowed. I just stand and smile at her. I don't think words would really help here, after all. The act is returning kind with Hanako wordlessly looking at me. The gap's not wide enough to see her expression, and I can only guess what she's thinking. Time passes as we look at each other, the only sound being the disembodied, what? Gaity from the ground below? Fucking hell. The authors, you don't have to fucking use words no one fucking uses. Sao going into Mamoru mode? Yeah, Mamoru. He's got a Mamoru. Did you send that ages ago? Maybe you did. I'm surprised I didn't notice it till now. I've put the chat in a different spot to where I usually put it. Maybe I shouldn't have moved it like that. I feel like I'm missing the chat now because I'm not used to looking for it there. I could maybe set up my screen like this. Maybe that'll work. Cause I guess I don't need to actively see that. Sure, let's try that. Time passes. Oh, right, I read that. I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually the eye moves away. I keep wondering whether she'll let me in or shut me out until the door slowly begins to creak open. Now that I have a full view of her and her bedroom behind, the first thing I notice is that Hanako's hair is quite damp. She's recently showered, which is made even more obvious by the scent of shampoo wafting towards me. The look on her face seems out of curiosity, as if she's not really sure what to make of me. Even so, I'm not really all that sure what she's thinking. It feels as if she's gone away for a long time and have now returned. Neither of us knows what to say to the other. Hanako realizes she's staring, looking away awkwardly before turning to the side and gazing at her feet. I decide to take it as an invitation and step past her into the room, closing the door behind me as I do so. Hang on, I need to take a break. It's like really hot in here. Imagine getting too hot in the middle of winter. That's middle class life, man. That's upper middle class life. It's winter, you turn the heater on, and it ends up too hot. And in summer, you constantly get too cold because of the cooler. It's a balancing act, a constant balancing act of what temperature you have it on, turning it on and off, changing how much clothes you're wearing, what kind of clothes you're wearing, it constantly throughout the day to try and maintain a balance. Also wanted to get food, so I got some bread with butter and Vegemite. Oh, man. It's almost 4 p.m. and this is the first thing I've eaten all day. Hanako realized she's looking away awkwardly before turning to the side and gazing at her feet. I decided to take it as an invitation and step past her into the room, closing the door behind me as I do so. I can see her fan. Aira never eats. I know, it's so annoying. I wish I ate a proper amount of food. Actually, in terms of volume, I eat the right amount of food. I just don't eat it at correct intervals. Which is really bad for you. That makes you gain weight more than if you eat the same amount of food but at the correct intervals. But I just suck at it. I suck at keeping consistent with my eating. One of my worst aspects in terms of health. Actually, maybe my dental health is even worse. I always forget to brush my teeth. I haven't been to the dentist in like 6 or 5 years. If I went to a dentist, that'd be appalled. I have cavities. I do. I need fillings, but I just... I don't want to go. They're gonna be so like appalled by it. I'm gonna need to go in like 5 times. It's gonna like cost money. Actually, I'm pretty sure my health insurance covers dental, but health insurance, health care. Pretty sure it does, but still, it would be annoying. I can see her hands fiddling in the folds of the oversized gown that hangs from her shoulders. I try to concentrate on what I want to say, but the scent from her... What? Oh, the scent from her aidles my senses. To my surprise, it's not me, but Hanako that breaks the silence. Why? Because, why did I come here? I was worried about Hanako, so I came to her room. She let me in, as I had hoped, and then, what? What did I mean to do? What did I mean to say? Why didn't I think this through before coming here? I want to make up for what I feel I caused, at least partly. I want to try and remove the distance I feel between us since then, and to see her happy. How can I do that when I don't know the first thing about her? I wonder if this is how Iwanako felt when she saw me lying in that sterile pastel blue hospital bed. A deep sigh steadies my nerves a little and ends my stammering. I don't think I've ever felt this nervous around someone before. When I'm like this, I don't think I can lie. Even if I could bring myself to, Hanako would see through it right away. I don't know, I just wanted to see you, I guess. Her fingers stopped moving, giving me a little surprise. Looking up to her face, she gives a sweet smile and a nod. That was a satisfactory answer for her. Of course it was. Since you're here, I'd like to play a game of chess with you. Chess! Getting in on that chess. You know Hanako watches fucking chess on Twitch. I almost had... Oh my god. My throat. Okay. I almost hang my head in disbelief that all she wants to do, after I've been winding myself up so much, is play a game. Looking at her face, though, a tentative smile perched upon it, I realized that this is more than that. She could have not bothered answering the door. She could have shut it as soon as she saw my face. She could have asked me to leave. She could have rejected me at many points, but she didn't. Now with this calm face, she wants me to play the game that we played when we first really spent time alone together. A feeling of relief washes over me. Everything will be alright. Hanako has let me into her world. As long as we can be together like this, I think everything will be alright. I keep accidentally burping because I'm drinking carbonated drinks. It would be my pleasure. I think we're a little over halfway through Act 3 now. The day of Hanako's birthday party is finally here. To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Hanako and Lily in their pajamas again. Hanako's gown has grown on me, is looking rather cute, though a bit conservative, and Lily's shorts and thin silk tops are a lovely combination. But the event is stained a little with the memory of Hanako's reaction to it. I still don't really understand what happened, only being able to vaguely guess at the possible reason for it, but I don't think finding the answer will be as straightforward as asking her. With that in mind, I knock on the door next to Hanako's. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, it's me. I can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps coming to the door, followed by the sound of the lock snapping open. I don't think I've ever seen Lily's door locked before, and it makes me a little suspicious. Once the door opens, the sight is a little underwhelming for a birthday party. Isn't this the exact same one we had before? I think it is. Hanako returns to her seat at the table with a quick smile and a nod, leaving me to close and, assuming they wanted to be kept that way, lock the door. As I do, I realize that the scene before me is that of an evening tea party, just like any other between the two. Somehow, I don't think I should be surprised. To my relief, Hanako looks relatively calm. The break from class has probably done her good and given her time to wind down a bit. I take a seat between the two at the low table in the center of Lily's room, and the brightly colored teapot steaming away between us. A tall brown bag close to Lily's side catches my attention. I covertly try to glance inside it a couple of times, but can't get a good look from here. Looking to Hanako, it seems like she's as curious about it as I am. Hey Lily. Lily finishes off the teacup, raised to her lips before setting it down and giving me her attention. Yes? I was just wondering about that brown bag. So, wait, where are the strippers? When are the strippers getting here? The police come to the door. They're like, we got a noise complaint. A complaint that you're not being loud enough, and then they start stripping. So that's what they always do. That's what the cop strippers do. Me personally, I'm not into cups. Just as like a role play sex thing, cups not my cup of tea. Office ladies though, give me that shit. That's where it's at. That's the best not conventionally sexy outfit. Fight me. I was just... What the fuck am I talking about? Hang on, I need to send a message to someone. I just remembered something. Nani the fuck? Oh, right. Brown bag. She pauses for a moment, then gives a slightly cheeky smile. Ooh. She's the stripper. Toast. Lily's the stripper. She's gonna pull lingerie out of the brown bag. That'd be Akira's present. Unfortunately, she said that she was working and can't join us. Ah, see. Working and can't join us because her job is stripping, and Akira's gonna come and wear the lingerie. I get it. I pick up what you're putting down, Lily. Lily leans over and feels out the item inside before raising her arm. I raise an eyebrow as two items, not one, rise from the bag. The glass neck, grasped by Lily on either side of her middle finger, so this is where she had her door locked. Damn! Toast's comment about underage drinking woo was probably posted thinking it would come in late, and then I spent ages on a dumb stripper bit, so spoilers, but wine. Not bad. A bit of red. Is that white? It looks like white wine. That looks like red though. I'm not a fan of white, but I love a glass of red. I love red. Red wine's really good. Dare I say, the best form of alcohol. It's a brown bag, so what else do you put in brown bags? Fair. But, I don't know. Uber Eats comes in a brown bag, so food, shitty trash food that you've ordered to be delivered to your house, that comes in a brown bag. Groceries, if you're fucking, I don't know, does America still do that paper bag bullshit? That's never really been a thing here, at least as much as I've been alive. Clearly, beer battered chips are the best form of alcohol. That's not bad actually. That's not a bad choice. But if we're talking purely liquid, I gotta go with red wine. Ciders are good. Cruisers are good. Bourbon is pretty good, like mixed with usually Coke. You know, I'm down for a can of whatchamacallit, the bourbon mixed with Coke. That's always good. Um, yeah, I just don't like beer. Beer kind of sucks on its own. Um, but I'll have like anything else. I'll have like shots of whatever fucked up shit you got. I'll have red wine. I'll have cider. I'll have cruises. I'll have mixes. I'll have cocktails. I just don't like I just don't like I just don't like beer. Beer sucks. And there are those people that try to force that mentality that like, oh, cider and cruises are girly drinks, and it's like, bruh, I don't give a fuck if you think it's a girly drink and you think beer's manly. I'm not gonna force myself to drink crap because I'm not confident in my I don't know, I'm not confident in myself and I need other people to see me drinking beer. Like, it's shit. It's literally shit. Beer sucks. Literally every other alcoholic drink's better. Fucking hell. Even sake is better, and I'm not even the biggest fan of sake, to be honest. I'm not even a big fan of red wine or sparkling water. They're also better than beer. Fucking fight me. Phoebe, Carlton Draft, Asahi, Corona. It's all shit. It's all shit. There are two small floods as the bottles are brought to rest on the table. One red, one white. I want to believe that it's fake non-alcoholic wine, but if it was, there wouldn't be any need to be this conspicuous. Alcohol? Seriously? Are you sure this is a good idea? Liz smiles politely and giggles. I'm not really convinced that she is. These would be the present from my sister. I know it's a bit questionable, but a little shouldn't hurt. If Lily took serious issue with it, I don't think she'd have agreed quite so easily. That aside, I had Akira squared as a serious and responsible type, maybe like an older Lily. But it looks like I was wrong. We aren't even legally able to drink yet. They would be able to, if it wasn't Japan. Also, the authors are American. 21 for the authors. If the characters are meant to be in Japan, then 19? Is it 19? Is it 19 or 20 in Japan? Toast, do you know? I used to know. I used to know when I was in uni, and I'd hang out with exchange students all the time, but I don't know anymore. 20? Yeah, I knew it was 19 or 20. 20, jeez. There was a 19-year-old that was... that I was friends with. She was an exchange student, and here in Australia, she would go and she went drinking with us like on multiple occasions, and it was just funny because she's like, I can't drink in Japan, but she drank on multiple occasions with us in Australia, because what was it? It was Maho was her name. So there was Maho, me, two of my male friends, a chick called Now, and my girlfriend at the time, who was Ayaka. And so the six of us would always hang out at bars and stuff. Not always at bars, but sometimes at bars, but we'd always hang out. We also went bowling, and there was like a bar there as well and stuff. And she'd always drink, and it was like, she's 19, she can't even drink in Japan. And when I first went to Japan, I was 19, so I was 18 when I first went to Japan, so I could drink in Australia, but I couldn't drink in Japan. We're still allowed to drink on the flight, though. Well, in that case, I won't complain, they don't look bad either. If it was Australia, they would be able to drink, because they're in their last year of high school, so if they've had their birthday, they'd be 18, so... Hanako hasn't, because she's about to have it. But, I don't know, if the other two have had their birthday, then they'd be able to. Because it's 18 in Australia. I'm no connoisseur, but at least the bottles look nice. Apart from a surreptitious glass of wine or two given from my father at family dinners, I haven't really had enough to know what's what. That, and I can't really say that I'm a total straight edge. Going by Hanako's expression, she's thinking the same, and it's her birthday anyway. Shall I open one? Sure, I guess. My heart skips as I hear 3 sharp bangs coming from Lily's door. Hanako's head flicks around and Lily's eyes close as she listens intently. None of us want to be busted for this. Who is it? Let me in, I'm cold. Lily lets out a resigned sigh before motioning for Hanako to open the door. She immediately gets up and fusses with her gown before moving, apparently still not quite sure of who it is, but trusting enough in Lily to do as she requests. I can just see a blonde, dark-suited figure become visible over Hanako's shoulders as she opens the door. Happy birthday, Hanako. Oh, fuck, I got something caught in my throat. Thank you, Akira. Hanako gives a small bow while twirling her fingers in front of her. So this is Lily's elusive sister. There she is. Hang on, I need to sort out my throat. Okay, I think I'm a bit better. I don't know why, but I got, like, phlegm, or, like, I don't know, something at the back of my throat, and, like, talking seems to, like, I don't know, bring it up, or, like, makes me feel it more, and so then I need to, like, try and clear my throat, and it just sounds shitty to do that on mic. Pretty bad stuff, though. Akira follows Hanako to the table after shutting the door behind her, giving me plenty of time to have a good look at her. She looks to be about the same height as Hanako, and also, can I talk about how it's really fucking funny that I said she would be the stripper, and then proceeded to comment about how I like women in suits, business suits, and then she comes in. She's not in what I like, though, because when I said I like girls in business suits, I was talking about, like, the skirt ones, obviously. I just think it's funny that that happened. And she has short blonde hair that's roughly... Wait. She looks to be about the same height as Hanako and has short blonde hair that's quite roughly cut. That, in addition to her rather modest breasts, masculine suit, and deep voice, give her quite an androgynous effect. Without further ado, she plops herself down on the side of the table across from me. It's nice to have your company after all, Akira. Did work let you off? Yep, I had to go back there in a bit, but I managed to get enough of a break to drive down. So, this would be Hisao then? A confident smile gets thrown in my direction, so I nod politely in return. Considering she just jumped straight to using my first name, she's much more informal than her appearance would suggest. Akira's just here to shoot people? What? What? Also, red eyes. Even though Lily has blue, can we talk about the impossibilities of those? First of all, are red eyes even possible? Maybe. If they are, they're a repressed gene, just like blue. Which means that it's impossible. Like, for one of them to have blue and one of them to have red, I'm just saying, it's pretty fucking far-fetched. Like... I'm pretty sure it's impossible. I'm pretty sure it's either impossible or it's extremely unlikely. But I'm pretty sure the genetics don't add up. Because I'm pretty sure they're both repressed genes. Wait, if she already knows who I am, that must mean that Lily's talked about me with her. I wonder what she said. Sorry for not introducing you, Hisao. This is Akira Sato, my older sister. See, nice to meet you. The person in question loudly claps her hands together, making Hanako jump a little bit. Akira notices this and looks uneasy for a fraction of a second before getting back into her stride. Only now do I realize that Akira hasn't paid Hanako's scars any undue attention. Hanako also seems to be comfortable, if not exactly relaxed, around Akira. Well then, I assume the presents got through. No point in waiting, considering Hisao and the birthday girl look like they're pretty eager. Lily giggles as I awkwardly turn away, a little embarrassed by the fact that I couldn't hide my interest. Hanako's eyes are telling me that she wants to try the wine together with me, though, so I settle for a look of badly feigned indifference. Akira manages to uncork the they did not look like corked bottles from the pictures that came up, but sure. Akira manages to uncork the first bottle with small effort, and Hanako goes to get some glasses before I get to pour the wine for them, full of white wine. White wine? Go for the red, mate. I heard somewhere that white wine has less alcohol than red wine, so I think it would be the best to start with. Red, I think red has more. Red wine's really alcoholic. I'm like... You can start feeling a buzz after like 2 glasses. Because I think you're technically over the limit. Or you're like at the limit by 2 glasses, right? For driving? I think it's 2. Like 2 usual size glasses, and I go a bit above the usual size anyway, because, you know, why not? Here's to Hanako and a Lily's trip. Cheers. Just Lily's? Akira's going too, Hisao. She's here. You can't say that. She's right there. Cheers. After the traditional raising of the glasses, we all take sips of the pale yellow liquid. It's nothing like the stuff I've had with my parents, with the fruitiness of the flavor almost entirely hiding the taste of alcohol. Maybe this is what proper wine is supposed to taste like. Then again, it's possible that Akira just chose a wine which would be suited to our tastes, since none of us are used to alcohol yet. Or at least I hope none of us are. This isn't too bad. I was expecting something harsher. If you hadn't liked it, I have a few other varieties you could have chosen from. You sound like you know your stuff when it comes to wines. Only a bit. I'm more of a beer kind of person. I have the drinking side down pat though. As if to prove her point, she refills her glass before bringing it to her lips and flicking her head back. Hanako and I silently watch as the whole glassful disappears down Akira's throat. I can't decide whether to be impressed or put off, but I certainly don't have any urge to imitate the act. Lily grimaces slightly at her sister's boast. I know that she is sipping from her glass as she does so, though. She's just had, like... Didn't she drive here and has to drive back to work? Why is she downing 2 of them? What the hell? Anyway, now that Akira's gift has been opened and sampled, shall we move on to ours? Gifts. That's right, we got you presents. It's your birthday after all. This is from me. Lily pulls out the carefully wrapped doll from under the table and passes it to Hanako. Hanako handles the present as if it were glassware, carefully turning it over to remove the tape that binds the wrapping. Man, we're removing tape? What a weirdo. Eventually the paper falls from the doll, revealing the emerald green of the doll's dress. It's beautiful. I'm not sure what reaction I was expecting from Hanako. The near total lack of dolls in her room made me think that she didn't care about them, but the look in her eyes now is something different. She turns the doll around with the same delicacy she affords the wrapping, as if she was expecting it to fall apart in her hands. I'm glad that you liked it. Hisao picked it out, to be honest. Hanako suddenly remembers that she is not alone in the room and shifts her focus from the doll. Yes, I like it. Thank you, Lily and Hisao. Actually, I got you something else. I reach into my bag and remove the wrapped chess set. Here, happy birthday. Hanako carefully sits Lily's doll next to her and opens my present with the same care as she showed Lily's. Before long, the checkered squares of the chessboard are visible, and Hanako gently runs her fingers across the carved surfaces. Oh. Almost by accident, she triggers the catch to the lid, startling herself in the process. She opens it and retrieves one of the grey pieces. She seems as absorbed in the chess pieces as she was in the doll before. They're coral, natural coral, undyed, or so I'm told. Thank you, Hisao. No problem. It's your birthday after all. That's right. My birthday. Once again, Hanako's reaction seems a little off, but she carefully closes the board lid. I notice Akira's smile beginning to look very strained. I wonder if she knows anything about what happened in class, given that she seems to be treading on eggshells around Hanako. I'll have to play you again sometime. I'll make sure I'll play you first. Right. There she is. Happy Hanako. She takes the doll she retrieved from Lily and holds it to her chest, together with the small chessboard, putting the pieces on top. The act seems to settle her down somewhat, and we just sit in silence for a while. I think it's one of the few times I've seen her genuinely happy, cradling the friendship of two people to her chest as tightly as she can. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Hisao. In the process of thanking us, Hanako drops the chess piece and fumbles a bit in a rush to retrieve it. Once she finds it, Hanako puts the chess set down and nervously gulps at her wine. It's as if the real world suddenly rushes back into her consciousness, and her fastest escape from it was in a glass. Hey, easy there. You shouldn't drink it that fast. It is a party, Hisao. Despite saying that, there is a slightly concerning edge to her voice. Eventually acquiescing, Lily proceeds to follow Hanako's lead, though not as eagerly. She looks to be taking small sips from her glass and letting the wine settle on her tongue before swallowing. I decided this is probably the best approach and do the same myself. Since this is kind of a going away party for you as well, I hope you enjoy your trip at least a little. At least a little, Lily. Hopefully your aunt will be okay. I hope your aunt is okay too, Lily. Look at Akira's face. Lily and I are slightly taken aback by Hanako's fervor to wish Lily well. Despite her own familial situation, I'm a little impressed. My, thank you both. I'll be sure to convey your thoughts to my family when I meet them. It'll all be fine in the end, Lily. Don't worry about it. Since the room's mood has become noticeably more sullen, I decided to try and move things along. Well then, shall we start on the cake? My tentative suggestion has the intended effect, everyone lightening up considerably. Yes, please. Why did I pause that? Cake? I didn't know there was any cake. Picked one up before I came, along with some snacks. Oh, done, Sal. At least one of us remembered to bring one. Everyone seems to welcome the distraction, so I retrieve the cake from my bag and start cutting it up. Why would you bring a cake without asking Lily? Like, wouldn't you be like, hey Lily, are you bringing a cake? And then she'd be like, oh no, maybe I should. And then you'd be like, no, why was she surprised? What if you brought one and Lily also brought one? Then there'd just be 2 cakes for what you thought was going to be free for people. Even with 4 people, it's still like, you don't need 2 cake. You don't need 2 cakes. That's a risky move, bringing a cake without asking. Mixed wine and chocolate cake isn't something that I thought would work well, but none of us seem to mind. The conversation is temporarily suspended as we start to eat. I was initially wary of this idea. After Hanako's panic attack, I expected the worst from tonight, but I think Liz's idea of giving her good memories for her birthday is working. That, and also having it shared with her going away party. Cake house scandalous. I'm just saying it's a risky move. You go to a party and you bring in a cake. There better A, be a ton of people, or B, you already checked, and so you know that it's like, and you already know that there's not going to be a cake or not, you know? I'm just saying. Check. From Hanako's reaction to her gifts, I can tell she was really appreciative. Hanako tries to pour herself another glass of wine, but ends up spilling some on the table. She had a couple by now, so considering that she's never had alcohol before, it's no wonder if she's feeling a bit lightheaded. Sorry, Lily, I didn't mean to make a mess. Don't worry, I've got it. If there's carpet, you've fucked it. Wine on... No, the carpet's done. It's done forever. If it's carpet, it's gone. It's gone. It's stained forever now. Another happy Hanako. And also happy Lily. And hugging Hanako and Lily. Lily reaches sideways and gently tuffs the fussing Hanako in her arms, giving me pause. It's okay, Hanako. I'm just happy you're here. Hanako gives only a faint nod in response. It's fitting, I suppose, that Lily would be the one to support her like this. I have no idea what Hanako would be like if she hadn't. Seeing the two like this makes me appreciate the fact that I'm privy to such an intimate moment. Even Akira, but can't help but smile at the sight. Oh no. The kilobytes per second was slowly going down, and I'm like, oh no, it's gonna die. It didn't die. We're good. I never would have thought I'd manage to find new friends so quickly, and I'm all the more thankful that of all people, these two are the two I befriended. They slowly break off from one another, Hanako regaining herself somewhat, while I quickly get myself back on task. I find a towel among Lily's tea set, and start mopping up the spillage. By the time I finish, however, Hanako and Lily have managed to uncork the other bottle, and have topped off their glasses. Looks like you're enjoying the wine then, just don't go too crazy with it after this, mind. You'll dutifully nod and agree, but her reminder feels a bit silly given that she's the one supplying underage people with alcohol. It's whatever. She's doing a puffy face again. I don't know what that face is called. Patty face. That's the word I meant. Not puffy. I just thought of puffy because when what's her name makes it. Chibi Boobs. What's her real name? Lewd hugging. What's the fuck? Chick from Gotchiusa that runs the tea that works at the tea place. Man, I can't remember her real name because I always just call her Chibi Boobs because of a series of inside jokes with another friend that led to her name just becoming Chibi Boobs. Anyway, there's a scene where she makes that face and her cheeks get really puffy and they just slowly expand and then the scene cuts before she stops expanding. So we always talk about that scene and also send each other gifs of it. I can't remember her real name. Is it Chihaya? I'm checking. Gotchiusa Chihaya? Is that it? Chia. There it is, Chia. Yeah. I call her Chibi Boobs. The second glass of wine goes down a lot quicker than the first, and before any of us notice, the second bottle is empty. 2 bottles between 4 people. That's a bit much. That's a bit much. That means each person had half a bottle. I've had more in one night myself. I did have a whole bottle one night, but that was only once. I was watching Pokemon, and then I got drunk, and then I walked my dog while drunk. It was a very surreal experience. Second glass of wine. The second bottle is empty. While Akira is helping us finish them off, Hanako looks to be almost equaling her in the amount she's had. My head feels a little light, but I think I've managed to gauge my own tolerance surprisingly well. Hanako smiles lazily, toying with her doll's hair. I think it's a pretty safe bet that she hasn't moderated herself as well as I. Yeah, look at her face. She's totally out of it. I don't think it was Hanako's intention to get this drunk, but it seems that the alcohol hit her all at once. She has a very light frame, something which wouldn't help her handle her booze well either. Oh my god. I knew this girl in uni who was really tiny. She was Vietnamese, and she was like really tiny, like not dwarf tiny, but I mean maybe dwarf tiny, I don't know, but she didn't have actual dwarfism, but like she was tiny. She was really short, really tiny frame. Like, she was shorter than some of the Japanese, some of the Japanese girls there. Like, and even one of the Japanese girls was short because she was shorter than her younger sister. And even that chick who was shorter than her younger sister was not as short as this Vietnamese chick. She was tiny, but she loved to get drunk. But the thing is, she was so tiny. She'd be drunk. She'd be like starting to feel a buzz after like one glass of any drink, and it was like, she's gone. She would be gone, because she'd drink like the same amount as like a normal person would to get drunk, but she's small, so she'd just be completely gone. She drank way too much considering her frame. She was just insane. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. You had to hear that sniffling. It's really annoying me, but I want to keep going. Oh well. Lily cradles her glass, running a finger around the rim. Her cheeks are rosy, but she's managed to avoid looking woefully drunk. Akira is, as I somewhat expected, largely unaffected. Yeah, she's got to go back to work too. Her smile might be a little wider than before, though. Maybe. I don't know. Hanako suddenly hiccups and accidentally knocks over the door. I think I should maybe go to bed. Thank you, Hisao. Thanks, Lily. And Akira... She slurs Akira's name pretty hard, barely avoiding breaking out into a giggle midway through. She's completely plastered, and I can't decide whether I should feel a little bad or not for being amused at the state she's in. It really is bizarre to see her acting so carefree. A shame that it's only with the help of alcohol. Here, let me give you a hand. Akira begins to get up to help Hanako out, but she's stopped when Lily gives a sharp cough. Sal, would you please? Akira looks a little surprised, and I have to admit that I am as well. I don't mind the request at all, let alone when it's said with such a smile. It just comes rather unexpectedly. Sure, no problem. Oh my god, that face. I pick up the chess set and help Hanako stand up. I do feel somewhat responsible for her, considering that, other than Akira, I'm probably the most sober person in the room. She nurses the doll in one hand and offers me the other. I stumble out of the door, into the hallway, and into Hanako's room. Hanako bumping into me a number of times on the way. Inside the room, I flick on the light as Hanako turns her attention towards the shelf on her dresser. An elegant doll is sitting on it, staring into the bare room. There you go. You'll be safe in here. Hanako gingerly places the doll next to the other one and straightens its dress. They sit in silence, hair and clothes perfectly arranged, just like the teapot in Lily's room. They serve as a distinct contrast to the dull whites and greys that permeate her bedroom. Satisfied that her dolls, her only two real possessions, are safe, Hanako takes a step back and stands up, staggering severely. A step forward to catch her if need be, but she regains her balance without my help. For a while, both of us stand in silence as Hanako looks downward toward the cupboard. After a minute or two, she begins to sway a little from side to side. It's very off-putting. Are you gonna be alright? Hanako raises her head and turns around to me as if she only just remembered that I'm also in the room. What's unexpected is that she takes 2 steps forward and wraps her arms around my body, her hand coming to rest against my chest. I can feel my heart beating as all of my senses feel like they're coming alive again after the deadening for the previous drinking. The smell of wine on her breath, the feeling of her fingers through my clothing, the scent of her hair underneath my chin. My hands remain out in front of me, not daring to touch her. The temptation is there to hug her, to embrace her, to tell her everything will be fine, but this feels wrong. Really, really wrong. Hanako? But I want to stay with you and Lily. Hanako's slurring reminds me a bit of Misha. She probably wouldn't be pleased to hear that. You know I can't. You're a girl and I'm a guy after all, and Lily needs to sleep. She gives a disappointed groan. It's so strange for her to act so forward. Don't worry, I'll see you again tomorrow, okay? Decide to rest a hand on her head and to reassure her. Deciding that this is as far as I'll allow myself to go in terms of physical contact with her while she's in this state. Yeah, watch out for that. There was a guy that was with a girl and they were both really drunk. And she consented. And so they started having sex. And then she fell unconscious from the drinking partway through the sex. And then when she was sober, she was like, "Oh, that's rape," and it was because she was unconscious for part of it. So even yeah, getting drunk, chastity belt on, boys. What the fuck? Why? Why, Toast? Why? How about no? Hanako's head nuzzles against my chest. It makes me feel all the more uneasy with the situation, and as her arms tighten around my back, I quietly decide to bail out. I rest my hands on her shoulders and give a firm but gentle push. Her grip tightens a little as I do so, but she eventually breaks off. I don't want you to go. Hanako, please. Akira and Lily are gonna start thinking weird stuff if I take too long here. It's perfectly true, too. I really don't want to take any chances, and I feel very uncomfortable right now. I shouldn't try to read anything into the way she's acting right now. I read that aside from alcohol-lowering inhibitions, people can react to getting drunk in many different ways that don't necessarily reflect reality. And even without that, there are plenty of ways to interpret what she's saying. As long as she's safe, I'm gonna try and get out of her room as soon as possible. Hanako hiccups again, looking a right mess as she stands and looks downcast in the center of the room. Her personality changed as she drank more and more, and now, all in a room with me, her previous brightness seems to have left her. Was she just acting upbeat to make sure we didn't worry? Even if she was, what could I possibly do for her, since I do exactly the same thing in regards to my own condition? Also, Hanako was the one that said I should go to bed. Why is she now saying she wants to stay with both me and Lily? Like, you were the one that decided to leave Lily's room. If she was just talking about Hasao, sure, but she's saying and Lily, so why'd you leave Lily's room? Distancing myself from my thoughts, I eventually managed to corral Hanako towards her bed. There were attempts to tame the wild sheets on it end up accomplishing little. Sorry about tonight, Hanako. I thought you probably won't remember any of this, but happy birthday. I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you. She looks up at me for a moment. I have no idea if what I said actually got through to her, but any chance to ask is lost as her eyes peacefully close. I sigh in relief before quietly backing away from her and leaving the room, flicking the light switch off as I go. I hesitate a little before opening the door to Lily's room again, quickly rehearsing what I should say if I get questioned about Hanako. After a few seconds, I still can't come up with anything. Open the door and make sure to close it behind me, lest any passing students catch a glimpse of the wine, before turning my attention to the two girls at the low table. Akira casually smiling, as is Lily. I welcome the change from the mood in Hanako's room. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, I got Hanako to her bed. She's sleeping now. That's good. I have to admit, I hadn't thought that she'd drink quite so much. Hey, it's fine. She's all safe and tucked up in bed now. With the way... With the way she is, she awkwardly trails off, though Lily and I would hardly protest. For someone so anxious and fearful, drinking would give an easy out for those constant feelings. I wish I could do more for her. I feel useless. My nose is getting pretty runny. You can probably hear it in my voice that my nose is like blocked now. It wasn't when I started streaming. I can tell you that much. That's a shame. I was actually kind of hoping to go longer than normal. I mean, we already have, if you count the first stream as well, but... Well, if my nose is getting like this, I can't really stream. But, so I think we'll go to I finish this till I finish this scene. Unfortunately. Like, it's not even like, oh, I can just move on to something else, or something more casual, or... Like, I can't just go to Xenoblade or go to 51 Worldwide Classics, and, I don't know, play chess or something. Like, I just can't move on, because this is just... Oh, I can't talk at all, really. If it keeps getting like this. I also have to keep stopping and turning off the mic to, like, try and handle it. Looking at Lily, I think back to what I asked myself in town. My relationship with her is that of a friend, and has only ever felt that way, but now I think I know why. Lily's been there for both Hanako and me since I first met her, but she's like that for everyone, trying to do her best to make them feel better. With that in mind, that's what the bond between me and Hanako. After rescuing our relationship following the panic attack, I inadvertently triggered during class. I feel like we're back to being friends, but she's on my mind more and more. I can't say I view any other girls in quite the same way, but maybe it's just a normal reaction to someone acting like this. Say, Akira. She yawns before looking at me. Didn't she say she has to go back? Didn't she say it was a break from work, not ending early? It is getting pretty late. You know about what happened with Hanako, don't you? Yeah, Lily told me. I negotiated pretty hard for a break so I could come down and help make her birthday a bit brighter. We get along pretty well. It's surprising to hear that from someone as extroverted as her, but if Hanako came to know her through Lily, maybe she had time to get used to Akira. And on that note, I better get going. It's already going to be a bit late as it is. But it's already so late. Sorry, we got a bunch of work dropped on us, so overtime it is. Yeah. Get out of here. Get the fuck back to work. She levers herself up with a grunt and heads past me towards the door. Just before she leaves, she turns back towards us. You haven't forgotten about the time for the flight and all the rest? Don't worry, I have everything ready. It's just a matter of packing when it gets closer to the time to leave. How'd it go? I'll see you guys later then. That'd be so annoying. Being blind and not being able to, like, write a note or just check, like, the ticket. Like, you'd have to make, like, an audio note or audio memo or something. But, like, that's, like, way more, like, of a hassle to check than just looking at, like, a ticket. Because you're gonna, like, have the ticket on you anyway. And with that, she disappears through the door with her hand held high in farewell. Your sister is something, alright? Probably should have thought that comment through before saying it. Regardless, Lily seems quite amused by my appraisal. You okay after all that drinking? Not wasted in just hiding it well? I assure you I am quite alright. I can moderate myself. You seem quite self-possessed as well, if I do say so myself. Yeah, well, I guess your moderation applies to me as well. With a little hesitation, I take a seat at the table in front of Lily. I want to address this directly, if for no other reason than to settle my own thoughts. I mean to ask this, but it took me a while to make up my mind. Do you have any idea about what triggered that panic attack? I gathered it was something to do with her birthday, but I don't know anything more. Even Akira was being really careful around her, so I assume she knows as well. Lily's smile drops, the gaiety of the birthday party now well and truly over. To be honest, I'm not sure of all of the details myself. Hanako told you that she was in a house fire. She told me as much after we met and spent a lot of time together. Other than that, she quite simply never told me. She never told you? Assuming the worst, what does she have to look back upon? A life of isolation and possibly even the death of her family? Maybe even going as far as blaming her existence for their death? Even thinking about what little I know of Hanako's past is bleak. To have lived through all that and to live on with those memories must be infinitely worse. Lily looks similarly depressed, but I can see her rebuild at least some of her composure before my eyes. I get the feeling that both of us are talking more frankly than we might otherwise do thanks to the wine, but it feels like just talking this out is a good thing anyway. I feel kind of helpless about it when it's put like that. What can I possibly do for her? I'm not wholly sure I should tell you this, but Hanako told me that you visited her the day after we both went to check on her. I must admit that I did not predict she would take such a step so quickly after what happened, nor did I expect you to think it was a nice nor would I expect you to do. I think it was a nice gesture on your part. It wasn't much really, it's just, at times like this, I sometimes think it would be better if we never had to leave Yamaku, or at least this town. Things are so much easier without others around. Yeah, I didn't expect Lily to look quite so troubled at what I say, and for a while she looks lost in thought. She moves to speak, but stops herself as soon as she does, and rethinks. It's a bit off-putting. I think... Tell me, do you have anything planned for Friday evening? Friday evening? No. Isn't your flight to Scotland the next day? I don't think it would be a good idea to tire yourself out before you even get there. I'll be alright, you needn't worry about me. I'll do this tomorrow evening, but I imagine Hanako will be feeling rather off for a while. The thought of how she's going to be tomorrow makes me grimace, and maybe we should count our blessings that she didn't end up simply throwing up from drinking so much, or having such a low tolerance. Well, I'm going to be able to attend whatever you are planning. What is it? Nothing unusual, I assure you, just a little excursion. And you'd better be off, what? And you'd better be off, Hasao. I can't imagine it's long at all until curfew is here. Oh damn, curfew, I'd completely forgotten. I look at the clock next to Lily's bed, but it seems to be some oddity without written numerals, which I suppose makes sense given Lily's condition. Not wanting to risk a haughty security patrol giving me a scolding, I get up and decide to get to my dorm, as she says. Well then, I guess I'll see you and Hanako tomorrow, assuming the both of you manage to get up in the morning. Thank you for your concern, Hasao. Until then. With that, I make my way out of her door and into the hallway. I hope her idea will be a good one. Alright. As I said, at the end of this scene, I'll end the stream. My nose is just too blocked. Also, there's been very little choices to make. Like very few in this route as a whole. I know Rin had the most, but there's been barely any in this. But yeah, Rin's route has the most choices. Maybe Hanako's has the least. I don't know. I know it has the least H scenes because it only has one, and everyone else has two, and Emmy has 3 or 4, I think. I know Emmy has the most. But I don't know about choices. With choices, I just know that Rin has the most. Maybe Hanako has the least. I don't think she does. But maybe. Anyway, thanks for watching the stream today, everyone. I was hoping to go longer, but yeah, my nose is getting all weird now, so I kind of have to stop. I can't keep talking like this and stopping every so often to sort it out, so that's a bit of a shame, but there probably won't be a stream tomorrow. And I say probably because a friend is coming over, but this friend knows I stream and inexplicably wanted to come to my house. Usually, he wants me to go to his house whenever we do this. We get together when new Pokemon content comes out, and we consume it together. The DLC expansion for Pokemon, Isle of Armor, that came out. So we were going to get together and play it, which is normal. But he almost always insists that it's his house. But this time, he said my house. and this is the first time of us doing it since streaming, so I have suspicions that he'll want me to be streaming it, and he's there playing his version and also on the mic. I think that's what he wants, but he hasn't told me, and I haven't asked in case I'm wrong. So I'm just gonna have to tell you guys probably. But if that's what he wants, maybe, I don't know. He's a bit of a loose. It's a bit of a loose one. I'm worried he might say something on stream that he really shouldn't. But if that's what he wants, then maybe it'll happen. Even if he does want it, it's possible it might not happen. But either way, it's more likely there's no stream tomorrow than there is one. I just didn't want to say for sure because I really don't know what he thinks tomorrow will be. So yeah, no stream tomorrow. But then there will be on Monday. And Monday will once again be Katawa Shoujo. So, because I didn't stream yesterday, I'm not streaming tomorrow, that means you're going to get Katawa Shoujo 2 days in a row. Usually the weekend fills that out with something else. So we'll see you then with more. We'll get through Hanako route more. Maybe we'll even finish it. I don't know. Actually, I highly doubt that, because Act 4s are kind of... Even doing Act 4 for Rin, took an entire stream that was longer than the usual 2 hours anyway, so I doubt we'll finish everything, but we might finish Act 3 at the least. So we'll see you next time. You guys stay frosty.